Good evening. Welcome back to the Ben Smith Coach Show here on the campus of Brad Central High School. We're filming this today in the H12 studio here with Mr. Schroyer and his students. Talking wrestling with Coach Ben Smith, and he's brought along a wrestler, and we'll let him go ahead and introduce him first, the good coach.
My name's Chase Stansbury, and I'm the 160 pounder.
160 pounds.
State ranked 160 pounder.
All right. Well, you like those ranked guys, don't you?
I do. I like them all, but it's nice when they, Chase is a senior. It's his first time, second year in the lineup, but it's first time really kind of getting in. I think he was in the rankings right there near the tail end of the middle of last year and qualified for the state tournament. But he's one of our three seniors in the lineup right now, and he's having a really good second half of the season. So thought it was fitting that we brought him along today.
And he has a sister that wrestles too, doesn't he?
Yeah. She just finished up her competitive season. Volleyball player, first year sophomore, and ended up having right at a winning record for a first year girl at one of those middle weight classes, really tough weight class. She finished the region tournament 1 and 2, a match away from qualifying for the state tournament.
Wow.
So, but yeah, she did a great job for us this year.
Well, since we last met, we've had some competition go on. Mm-hmm. Read about those girls. Tell us about what the girls did for you.
Yes. So we'll start with the girls. They had their girls East Regional, which is there's a West Regional, East Regional, top 4 from each region go to the state tournament. And so we had 4 girls enter and compete. We had 2 last year, 4 this year. We had 1 qualifier last year. We had 2 this year. And that was Brianna Pontus, who we saw here last week with Coach Anglin. She finished 4th at 112 pounds. And then she's a junior, so she'll be back next year. And then freshman Rachel Wooten at 125 qualified for the state by placing 4th.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, man, that was really successful. We finished 12th out of 36 teams with only 4 girls. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
We were turning some heads, man. So I'm really proud of our girls. They'll compete at the individual state championship in Chattanooga on February 19th. The day before the guys' tournament.
Other schools thinking, "Oh crap, here comes Brad with another wrestling group."
We were not welcome there.
I can believe that.
Yeah, it was fun.
So let's talk about the boys then. What's your next competition? What have you done since the last time?
So we've had our dual meet with Saudi Daisy, which is the big district dual meet, and they're a little down this year. So we had a really successful senior night. Then we wrestled the region duels that Saturday, beat crosstown rival Walker Valley. We were pretty fired up for that match. We beat them pretty handily. It's always fun to beat your, They wrestled a match with
Coached
Cleveland.
by a former wrestler.
Yeah, Bradley wrestler. 2 former Bradley wrestlers. They had what in their mind was they statistically had a closer match with Cleveland than we did. So there was a little bit of this.
Oh, okay.
So we came in fired up and we beat them. It was like 60-15 when we ended up forfeiting out, so we were kind of fired up for that one. And then we wrestled Cleveland for the region title, and we improved. We got beat pretty bad the previous time, but we closed the gap. We were within 9 points, and then I chose not to. No, we were within 8 points, and then I chose not to wrestle the last match because one of our kids wasn't feeling well. Didn't want to. Mathematically, it was over.
Yeah.
He wasn't feeling well, and it was one of those things where it's like,
why risk injury?
Let's not risk us getting injured, and let's not risk them getting sick. And so I think they were a little upset about it until I told them what the situation was. But he ended up being fine, but it ended up being like, I think, 42-24. So we closed the gap on defending state champions. So since we lost, we had to wrestle Region 3 champion Maryville in the sub-state on Tuesday, and we went up there and we handled business.
Took care of business.
We took care of business. So we'll wrestle in the state dual championship this Saturday at Centennial High School. The bottom half of the bracket will be at Centennial. The top half of the bracket will be at Independence. We drew Wilson Central, the number 2 seed, first round. They're second in the state. We're ranked 3rd.
A team you're very familiar with. Right?
Very familiar with. No love lost between our 2 programs, and it's interesting how we ended up together in the first round. But we're not going to focus on that, are we, Chase? They don't want to wrestle us anymore, and we want to wrestle them. And so we're very excited about that match.
Wow, man. It just gets more intense all the time there.
Yes, sir.
What do you do between matches to try to – is there anything you can improve on this time of year? You're still trying to stay in condition, or are you trying to learn something?
The shutdown and the quarantine really hurt us. I think we were very much trending in the right direction with our conditioning. And so we kind of had to go back to a November type training schedule in January. And our first match with Cleveland, in my opinion, really exposed our conditioning. And I feel like that we've been focusing a lot on, like, we're still going a little bit more intense for this time of the year than what we normally would in a regular year because we're still building our conditioning. Obviously, state duels week, we're picking up the intensity, especially with drawing Wilson Central first round. It's win or go home, and type situation. But we're kind of keying in on some specific stuff for Wilson Central. Whoever wins our match will win the next match and wrestle for a state title. We've already beat Science Hill, who will probably beat Collierville. We beat them 60-something to 12 with a couple JV guys in. So we're Wilson Central specific mode. We're in Braveheart Gladiator type mindset this week. Like like our state title. If we're going to win a state title, we've got to do it in the first round.
Yeah.
So. So we're fairly intense right now. So conditioning is still a key factor for us. We believe that our conditioning is greater than the majority of our opponents, but we definitely think that that will be a big factor in our matches here. So we're grinding pretty hard right now.
Let me ask you something I've not asked you before in any of our shows. We had a wrestler during the Saudi Day senior night that didn't make weight that night. When are the wrestlers weighed, who weighs them, and where they weighed prior to the match day?
So the pre-match weigh-in procedure is, if weigh-ins are at 5, typically, now most of these officials have day jobs, so a lot of them can't make it for a 5 o'clock weigh-in. So the opposing coach and we will weigh our teams in. They witness ours, we witness theirs, and then there's an hour state mandated NFHS rules an hour before weigh-ins. Now typically dual meets it's pretty lax. If there's JV, then we'll weigh in at 5, wrestle JV at 6, varsity at 7. Yeah. But the way that it's supposed to be set up, like at the state tournament this weekend, we'll weigh in at 11, we'll wrestle at 12. If 113 is the first weight class is drawn, 113 will weigh in, and it's an hour from the time he steps on the scale to the time he wrestles.
Okay.
And the officials
Real strict.
Yeah, and the officials will be there for the weigh-in procedure at that point.
Well, if I'm a wrestler and I've had to cut a couple of pounds to make weight, and then I don't have to wrestle, maybe because wrestling starts at different weight classifications in the regular season.
Correct.
And how's that based? They draw for
Blind
that?
draw.
Okay. So let's say that I draw. I'm going to be one of the last wrestlers. Have I got time to go eat me? Can I eat something?
More.
Or, you don't want to fill up, of course.
No, you don't want to be heavy. You don't want to be bloated. You still want to be light. A lot of times your stomach is shrunk at that point. So, Chase, he's, most guys are a water and a granola bar. Maybe if you're one of the latter matches, you might get your Subway sandwich. You want something that's easily digestible. Good simple carbs if there's a possibility of having good simple carbs, but you want something your body's going to absorb quickly because, as Chase will tell you, and being a former wrestler, there's nothing worse than feeling sloshy or bloated, or your mind is willing, but your body is able. If it wasn't for what you ate, so it's most wrestlers kind of snack and eat like birds after weigh-ins, and then if it's a victory, we going to Waffle House, we going to Steak and Shake, we going where the purge or the splurge comes afterwards.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm sure it does there.
Yeah.
And let me ask you this too: what are you during a match? I've seen a lot of matches here. You've got wrestling on the floor and they're tangled into a ball or whatever, or cradle or something, and I noticed you'll get up from time to time and you're yelling something at them. What are you trying to remind them of something, or do you see something that they're not doing that you want them to do, or what are you trying to? And just encouragement, or what?
At that point, yeah. Well, we were talking about it in my leadership class today. Like we're big on affirmation and we're big on positivity. What gets rewarded gets repeated. So a lot of times, like I'm real big on myself and my coaches being positive at all times, even if it's in a constructive manner. But and Chase will tell you, you're in the fray, man. You can't hardly hear. The older you get and the more you've wrestled, the more things slow down for you.
You can tell them.
No, the coaching's over. But at that point, like we have probably 10 or 15 key type phrases that we say a lot. And a lot of time because they're, they've got we want them hustling back, getting ready. They're 15, 20 feet apart. Like a lot of times it's things that they've heard before. If it's a situation where maybe we don't need to be aggressive. Hey, circle, be smart here. Hey, hands down. Move. I'm simple. I'm the simple coach of us all. Move your feet. Hey, just keep your feet moving. You know, or I'll aware them, like keep them aware of the time.
Yeah.
But there's no, hey, when he goes here, you go here, and you go. Now, Coach Blackman does that a lot, but I'm more of positivity, keep it going, intensity, you know. And then sometimes we just say funny stuff. Like sometimes we get them to relax. We'll say odd things to them and just kind of break, trying to get that mind to slow down a little bit. But we try to be basically, and I think Chase would agree, constructive in a positive manner.
Well, I'm gonna get to Chase, man. Get one more question before I start talking, Chase. I know you're a very devout Christian, and you live your religion. And do you? How do you handle that with the team? Do you discuss religion with them or their beliefs, or is that more of a private thing for them? Or
no, we got to be careful because we teach in a public school. Couple of things that we do is we have chapel on Wednesdays. Phil Pippinger, my man, the Pip, he comes in. Mickey Clark does pre-match devotionals. And then I think Chase will tell you, like I talk about, I read daily. Leaders are readers, and I'm reading a lot. That's kind of one of my emphases for 2020. And you know, if I'm a wrestler, it comes out in who I like. If I am a wrestler, it comes out in who you are. You know, and if I'm like, and my faith is equally important to me, so it comes out in things I say and things I do, and I'm always talking about it. I mean, if you come in the weight room in the morning, I've got praise and worship on. You come into my office, it's praise and worship or relaxation music. You know, if you come in my office, you know, if you come in during lunchtime, I'm usually reading what I've got to read that day. And the Christian walk it's such a disciplined walk that it mirrors athletics so much that every day that there's usually something unintentionally that I relate it to. But most importantly, Gary, and I appreciate you asking the same things you said, but because I'm a mess and I screw up every day, and they'll tell you that too. But I try to be a mirror of Christ everywhere I go, and if I can do that through my words and my actions, not just sitting here talking to you guys, but while I'm coaching against Joey Knox in Cleveland and while I'm coaching Chase, even in the most intense moments, which we've had some, I want them to see it rather than hear it. But there's times, I mean, I talk. Like we do a Friday morning Bible study. I call it Coffee with Coach. That's probably one of the more straight out things that I do. But I just try to be respectful of other people's beliefs and just let them see it in me, you know? So.
Well, and it's appreciated. You know, people don't tell you that enough, but I think that anybody who knows you knows how you live your life.
I try to.
Chase, tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you're a senior. You said you weigh 160. How long have you wrestled? Since way back when?
I wrestled a lot when I was little, and then I took a break when I moved to Florida, and then when I came back in middle school is when I picked it back up again. So, like, I don't know the real number, but it's been a bit.
You've been here at Bradley all 4 years then?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
His family wrestled here.
Oh, they did? Who was your family? Who is your family?
Joel Stansberry is my uncle, and then Todd Stansberry is my dad.
Okay.
So they were here in the bloodline. Yeah, bloodline. Oh yeah, tough guys, great guys. Todd, I love him. He's a talker. We have a good time. He's got really high expectations for Chase and for Brooklyn. And then their uncle Joel, both of them were right at. And this was a time there was one state tournament and they only placed top 4. Both of them were right at the cusp of being on the board, on the Wall of Fame, as we call it, and that's kind of been part of my motivation with Chase. Is like it's time that we get a Stansberry name on that board. Yeah. You know, and so came from the Harrison area. His family wanted him to wrestle for Bradley. Really wanted him to wrestle for Coach Logsdon, but man, they just missed out on that one. So they had to settle for me. But I've really enjoyed having Chase, and definitely. Brooklyn's pretty enjoyable to be around, but can be a bit sassy. But Chase has done a great job for us this year.
Well, that's great.
If we're going to do what we need to do this weekend, just like he did last year, because people were kind of keying on Chase last year. You know, he had kind of a spotty record. He was at 160, 145. He's all over the place. But people thought that they'd look at our lineup and go, "Oh, we'll beat that Stansberry kid." And
you got to show him something now, then.
Oh, well, that's not the case. He's state ranked now, like he's
you
a
already
weapon.
Showed him, yeah.
He's a weapon. So, man, he's got a big matchup for us this weekend against Wilson Central. If he gets the first takedown and get on top, it's going to get ugly for them. So
you know what you have to do then?
Oh, yeah.
What's the toughest part about playing for a coach like Ben? I know he's an intense guy.
Probably practice, not really competition.
Practice harder than competition?
Yeah. It's like keeping up the intensity the entire time.
Yeah.
wears on you, but it's
Well, if you can't do it in practice, you can't do it on the
right.
mat.
Yeah.
Thank you.
know.
We said that
Yeah,
yesterday.
mirrors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Show me what you in practice, earn the right to be out there and go for that. What's the most enjoyable part about being part of the team and here at Bradley? Is there any joy in there somewhere?
Well, yeah, there's a lot, but
Yeah.
Being on the team, I mean,
it probably just winning as a team.
yeah.
Nice.
Well, you have a big tradition to uphold when you wear the black and gold from Bradley Central there and all that. What are your future plans? You going to wrestling college or?
I don't know yet. Still debating on that, but
His dad wants him to, but he needs to make that decision for himself.
Yeah.
You better love it.
Yeah.
College athletics, you have to love it.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be. It's
a step up.
It's a step up for sure.
Well-
He has the ability to wrestle on maybe a smaller level,
Yeah.
or walk on somewhere. But like I've told his dad and talked with him a lot about, man, that's got to be a right fit for you, and it's got to be a decision that you make
Yeah.
because you're not always gonna like. There's days I always love my wife, but there's days that.
You want to love her a little bit
Yeah,
less.
you know what I mean? And it's the
Not
same.
a little less, you love
and
her
there-
more,
and
better on other
and there's
days.
same. It's the same with
Yeah.
like college athletics is a love affair. Like sometimes there's a lot of days that you don't like it, you don't love it, you don't want to do it, but you're going like there's no other option.
Yeah, you're committed.
You're committed. And so that's what I'm trying to get across to his dad is like, look, let him make that decision, and he will. And Todd's good. He's a good dude. He's a great guy.
Where do you see yourself in 10, 15 years from now? You going to be a family man, a big family, or what kind of career would you like to work in? Any idea?
I'm wanting to go into electrical engineering.
Oh, that's a good career.
Yeah, I don't really want a huge family, but yeah, I see myself as a family guy.
That's some good money. He's got money plans in mind.
Chase is going to be a winner in life, man. And no matter how this season plays out or how his state tournament last year, whatever, wrestlers are bad about, like, we're only as good as our last win, and most of our careers end on a loss. We're really bad about judging ourselves, but Chase is going to win in this life. So we're just going to try to make sure these next 3 weeks provide some great memories for him. So we're going to do our part. Like he said, practice is tough. It wears on you. It wears on me. It's hard for me to.
But that's what makes you the program you are, though,
Sometimes, I guess. When I don't know. I get home and my wife's like, "You're not coach here, big guy." You're right. You're right.
Happy wife, happy life. As
Hey,
they
that's
say,
right. That's why I just sit there and say, "Yes, ma'am." Go give Dottie a bath. You got it.
Can I take the garbage out or mow the yard or anything for you, honey?
Whatever you need. Whatever you need.
We want to thank you, Coach, for being here. Chase, thank you for being here as well. This game or this interview is being shown on the BCHS Bear Network on Facebook, so you can go back and watch it. Probably be posted later today. And glad to have you here today. Good luck in the upcoming tournament with Wilson Central. It'll be on the 19th, I think you said. State's on the 19th.
The state, individual state is for them is on the 20th.
Okay.
So what we'll do moving forward, and we'll close out with this, Gary, is we've got state duels this weekend, the 6th, and then we host the traditional region next Friday night here at the gym.
Super.
And then girls state tournament on the 19th, Friday, and then guys state tournament on Saturday the 20th in Chattanooga.
And just this week, they've allowed us to bring more people in.
Bring them on.
So you can come in. We'll be a third capacity of Jim Smead Arena. Coach Turner Jackson, our AD here, will be doing temp checks. You must wear a mask to get in. So keep that in mind, folks. Come on in. Support the Bears. They certainly deserve your support. They've earned that throughout the years and everything. But Coach, thank you. Until next time. Chase, thank you and good luck. And for until the next time, we'll just say so long for now. God bless and go Bears.